Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind. We are here today. We are existing in our energy of the day.
Good morning.
There's the doctor in the house. Can I get a doctor in the house? We have a doctor in the house. Yeah. She's waving out the window at everybody. Good morning, everybody. We're glad you're listening to us, and we appreciate it. We have hit some major milestones.
Yeah, for sure.
Where our website's getting busier, our followers is getting more. I mean, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening, and we really do appreciate you. And once we get to 1,000, actually, I'm going to throw it out there. Once we get to 2,000 subscribers, we'll do something crazy on the podcast.
Yeah, a new thing that is out there and available is you created my Blogger account.
Yeah, yep. Dr. Jenny's on Blogger, and then we have our website blogs as well. And in the process of creating the newsletter, I started doing that yesterday a little bit.
Yeah. So you can find all of the rabbit hole articles that I sit around and create.
If you want the newsletter, go to www.themerckcenters.org and subscribe, and I'll have that mailer list out. Or you can do it on the Salty Tarot app store as well, at thesaltytarot.myshopify.com, and subscribe there, and it'll all get there. That all goes to the same mailer address for me, so I'll be able to send out a list.
And what about the Blogger? How do you get to that?
The Blogger is, it goes on numerous sites, so it's on all the blog sites.
Well, I mean, how do they find it?
Well, you can Google search, use the name, and it'll pop up. Dr. Jenny Emery.
The blog will?
It'll pop up like the third one down on the list. Or you can go to blogger.com. It
wasn't for me. That's why I'm asking.
You can go to blogger.com as well.
And look for what?
For To the Edge and Back with Dr. Jenny.
To the Edge and Back.
Yeah.
Like for that title.
Yeah, that's the title of your podcast. Or I'm sorry, of your blog on there.
Okay.
The title of your podcast is The Spiritual Grind. You'll see it all linked together. I put it in the description, your podcast and all that stuff.
I see.
But anyway.
Yeah, there's a couple articles on there. I'm going to post a new one.
Yep.
Our
app is in process, and we are so excited about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have hired a company, and man, are they making great progress.
Yeah.
Literally in 2 days, they had a complete proof of concept. And they showed us on video. We have another meeting tomorrow. We're doing meetings every other day with them, so it's going to be fun. And the goal is to have it out for you guys by October 31st. So
yeah, and this might be a good opportunity to plug them a little bit because we've had a really good experience with them. Do you agree?
Yes. And so we went down all this road. I actually plan on putting out a YouTube video about this. I went down all these roads trying to create our app, and come to find out that all these little non-coding places and all that stuff, they just don't work. If you have any kind of intricacy into your app or detail into your app, specifically animations, they don't support them.
Well, and it just depends on what kind of app you're creating. I wouldn't go as far as to say they don't work.
Right.
They didn't work for us because our app is.
I mean, they're great business models. Like if you're going to do like we could do our business, our Merck Center website on one of those apps, and it would be just fine.
Yeah, it depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
And what you're creating, I think.
But if you're creating any kind of an intricate app, it was quite a roller coaster ride for me. I was going through all these places that had all these promises. And the reason why I say that is because when I went to searching for non-coding ways that I could create my own app, because this is be real, I heard stories that apps are really expensive to create. And so I started looking for ways to create one that was cheaper and found out that those places just didn't work. They didn't work for us. And they made all these promises. And that's the reason why I'm calling them out, is because all these promises, oh, yes, you can, there are certain ones out there that you can't even put them in the Play Store or the App Store.
Right.
And so don't go down, because I spent I'm not going to call them out. Yeah, I'm not going to call them out, but
I think what we're sharing is do your homework.
Yeah.
And really research it to see.
So kind of the guidelines that I found out for you, so you guys know if you want to create your own app, is if you have more than a 6-step process, it's not going to work. You have to go to a coder. And so if there's anything that involves 6 steps or more, then it's not going to work. And so,
especially if you don't want to have to do it over.
Right. Yeah, because I did it twice. 3 times.
If you're not one who wants to put something out quickly and just get something going, and knowing down the road that you're going to have to invest more time and money in doing it over, because you're in your mind thinking, okay, well, this basic concept will get me started, and then I'll grow that from there and build on it.
Yeah.
Those apps like you're talking about don't allow you to do that.
They don't allow you to do that.
You'll find yourself at a place where you basically have to start over.
Yeah, you end up hiring a coding company anyway.
And
because like one of the places that I created an app on found out that it had a limit of 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
And so if you have more than 1,000 people, which is a minute amount of subscribers, and you can only have 2,000 downloads.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's a minute amount in any app store. Even non-performing apps will, have 25 to 40,000 downloads.
Right.
Because it's international. It's like, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
So just, do your homework and pay attention to what you're doing. And if you have any intricacy that's 6 steps or more, then realize that you're going to have to go to a coding company.
Yeah. And I think that's one of our joys is when we do experience something new, putting it in a step-by-step process that helps educate others.
Yes.
And so that's what's caused you to kind of want to do a YouTube video or whatever platform.
But anyway, we have hired a company called Vacancy with a B, as in boy. Thousands and thousands of apps that they have out. They have over 3,000 positive reviews online. And man, it's been a great experience so far.
It really has. It really has.
I mean, they have some kind of progress every single day, and they give you a free project manager with it when you pay for you're really only paying for the coding, because the reality is they're working to be able to have the maintenance contract in it. And that's really, they understand without apps, they have no maintenance contracts. And so they developed the app at a little cheaper rate, and they want the maintenance contract. And even though the contract that we sign has no guarantee that we'll give them that contract.
Right, exactly. And I mean, you'll have to get your own quote.
Yeah.
It seemed very
reasonably
I think
priced.
From our perspective, having gotten bids, so to speak,
I got a few of
on
them.
other companies, they proved to be, for us in our situation, very cost friendly, and we liked that. And then
totally,
their production thus far has been.
But anyway, are you ready for today's topic?
I am.
But, you can look them up at vacancy.com, by the way. BACANCY.
Yeah.
B within vacancy with a boy at the front. B. Vacancy.
B as in boy.
B as in boy, yes. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of a different conversation today.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
I am ready.
So today's conversation is about what's a good way to start this conversation? We as humans are raised with belief systems, and we're taught things.
Absolutely.
And until it gets exposed to you that how you're thinking is not the proper way, then you can go through your life creating beliefs off of that bad belief, and then it just gets layered into that onion. But what I'm specifically talking about today is sexual beliefs. And I'll give you the prime example. Most women are taught that they have to take care of their man. What I mean is, I don't know, and y'all listening can look it up. You look up empty balls, full stomach, and how many TikToks come up, how many Instagrams come up. And so we're gonna do a gamut today of this conversation from beginning to the end, because it is a societal top belief that is the wife's responsibility to take care of the man, or the man's responsibility to take care of the woman.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I can step in, because I am no stranger to this. This came up because it came up for me. And essentially what happened is I thought I had cleared the beliefs, and I did at some layer, but there was some underlying stuff that you'll touch on. I was raised in the societal concept of, okay, so I become a wife, and it is my wifely duty. And people that are our age will understand it a little bit better than I think the
younger generation. Well, actually, I think it's actually kind of strong in the younger generation, but the confusion comes with,
can I finish?
Whose responsibility is who? Yes.
So as a wife, I carried around for many years that my wifely duty was to take care of the children, clean the house, and please my man.
Please my man.
Cook supper, provide his sexual needs. And those were all logged and categorized as chores.
Yes.
Whether I had a job or whether I didn't. And I have always had a job. So those were additional chores, basically, that I had in addition to having a job.
Right.
But they were chores I took on because I saw and watched my family dynamic go on. And so, because there's no book that you get given.
Well, not just your family dynamic. It's taught on the TV, too.
Right. I was getting there.
Yeah.
I was given no book by the family that said, okay, here, this is what wife means, and this is what it looks like. So I would watch things like Leave It to Beaver growing up. And I always call it the June Cleaver syndrome.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
We do. And, June's at home. She's got her little apron on. She's tending to Beav and all of his shenanigans. She's making the cookies. Then they all come home and they have supper that June has made. Right. They sit down, they have supper. You watch all that on TV.
Yep.
And because you don't get given a book that says, okay, this is what it looks like, if you're not taught by your own family a healthy way, then you're going to take those snippets from TV and say, okay, well, I guess this is what it looks like to be a wife.
Yes. Yep.
Then as you watch your family dynamic,
and you yearn to have that dynamic.
That's right. Yep. You think, okay, that's what perfect life looks like. That's what the American dream looks like. And then you take snippets from what your grandmother does, what your parents do, whoever your heroes or mentors are, and you take all of that and you mold it into this perspective of what you think that character is defined as. Right. And then as you age, for me, as I got older, I was like, I don't like that part of it, so I'm going to modify that. I don't like that part of it. I'm going to modify it. And as I went through different relationships, and then I came to you, and we've talked about this.
Yep.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
You gave me permission not to have to do dishes.
Yep.
Not to have to cook, not to have to clean if I didn't want to. And it kind of spent. See? It kind of. It put me in a tailspin for a minute. Yeah. As a wife definition, I was like, what the F is going on? Like, what is that? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
As the wife, am I supposed to sit here and eat bonbons, look pretty? Like, what am I supposed to do? So anyway, that's how we got kind of to this topic for ourselves. Is I'm working through some layers of it.
I'm going to take a line from my grandpa.
Yeah.
My grandpa once said that it's nobody's responsibility to take care of me other than me. And
absolutely.
And I took that to heart. And on the other side of that is, I come from a double working household, I guess, growing up, and I had to learn to cook on my own and do my own laundry and take care of myself, basically, because I was a latchkey kid.
Right. I think a lot of us were in that generation.
In our generation.
I did as well.
Yeah. But anyway, what it does is it confuses the dynamic. Like when I went to you, and I want to back up just a hair. In today's world, we hear a lot that, chivalry is dead and those kind of things. And chivalry comes from inside. It is not an expectation. It is nobody's job to take care of you. It is nobody's job to take care of anybody else. It is their job to take care of themselves, and it's my job to take care of me, no matter what topic that is.
Right.
Granted, Dr. Jenny doesn't open a door. She hasn't touched the doorknob in a very, very long time because I open all her doors, but I choose to do it. She doesn't expect me to do it. She doesn't want me to do it. She gets in trouble when she does do it, but she also does not ever.
It's not like I get a spanking or anything.
Right. Yeah, right.
He'll make little comments like,
ask her if her hand
does
hurts.
your hand hurt? Right. We make fun of it.
But the whole purpose behind it is it's a choice that I make. And what brings us to this topic is how that dynamic is confusing in a lot of different perspectives, not just in the duties. And so, I'm going to say this. It is nobody's responsibility to take care of you, listeners. If you're listening, it is nobody's job to take care of you. It is your job to take care of yourself. When you have two people that come together in a relationship and they merge, it is an agreement for two people to live their individual lives together.
Right.
And then you come together and you manifest. But to be specific about the topic of this podcast, it's about sex.
Right.
Sexual energy.
We've been kind of putting in different levels of sex along the way as we talk about this taboo topic.
Yeah, it's a taboo topic for a lot of people.
Nobody wants to talk about sex.
Well, through the discovery of multiple things, we have discovered that there are some things that have within that confused dynamic that get confused in people's minds. One of those things is
and it was
direction.
Confused. I had it confused.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to bring the topic back up, because if there's other people out there that were doing what I just went through, it would definitely cause them to experience what I experienced, which was I thought that I had cleared the beliefs. I thought that I had gotten all of that cleaned up and redefined, but it kept popping up in my reality. And I'm like, what the F? Why does this keep popping up? I thought I got all that. So then I would dig around some more. And you finally brought it by perfect timing and through a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, because shadow work is not always a day at the spa. We finally got to the underlying core of it.
Right.
Are you ready for me to go there?
Not yet.
Okay.
So to clarify a couple of things is, first of all, when I say it's not your job, it's not anybody's job to take care of you, and that is sexually as well.
Right.
And so, it's kind of taboo to talk about it. But when boys are growing up and girls are growing up, and when they come to maturity and have hormones that go off, they masturbate. Why do they masturbate? They masturbate to learn themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about this, and maybe we'll have to make this an explicit podcast where they have to be over 18 to listen to it. But I think even kids, if they have hit puberty, need to hear this, because it is okay to create a safe spot in your mind around masturbation and your own self-discovery, because if you can't take care of you, you're not going to take care of anybody else.
And that includes in the sexual self-discovery area as well.
Yes.
If you don't know what you like, which I spent many years not knowing what I liked because I didn't give myself that space to explore,
Right.
then I can't communicate to you sexually what does feel good and what doesn't, because I don't know.
Right. And when you've lived your entire life with the societal taught or parental belief that you carry on that it's a chore, then there is no pleasure in it, because procreation and sex is for pleasure or procreating. That is it.
Right. So when I had sex boxed up in this little box of chores,
It looks like this.
it gives it no space to become anything pleasurable, or like there was no room left for it to be a pleasure thing.
Right. And so many years ago, and I'm gonna back up just a minute here, because I remember when I was coming through my hormonal changes and I hit puberty, I was made fun of. I used to hear it. You're going to grow green hair in the palm of your hands. It used to be the ongoing joke. But what I realized is it's actually kind of ownership, because when you put yourself in that spot, you're creating a safe spot in your mind of making sure that you're taken care of.
I know one of the things that I would hear when that commentary would happen, like between my aunts and uncles or just in the family dynamic, is comments like, it'll make you wet the bed.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
same kind of premise.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really is. And it's what's bad is they didn't realize what they were doing.
Right.
Because that era changed. Even when my parents were younger, it was the June Cleaver time.
Right.
And then before I get out of high school, it became a 2-income household.
That's right. And they certainly never talked about sex.
No, my dad did. My parents did,
I mean, June Cleaver.
Oh, yeah, no, totally not. It was faux pas and against the Bible and blah, 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 blah,
That's
and a bunch
right.
of other stuff.
That's what happens behind closed doors in the privacy of your own home, and you don't talk about it.
Right.
Otherwise, you're considered one of those rogue humans that's off the chain.
And so when you don't get to practice your own sexual energy, it also confuses something else.
Ooh, do tell.
It puts everything out of order. So let me explain. Like the example you brought up. You made a comment that
I can
guys, go ahead.
Yeah, so what was happening with me is when I got into high school, even in middle school, I was provided this big set of boobs that grew without me doing anything. So
you had what?
I was this very athletic build, slim body, but I had these huge double D boobs in middle school.
Knockers.
Yeah. And I noticed that I was getting a lot of notice.
Yeah, noticed.
Because of my boobs. And that was the focal point of the male population.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know.
And how did you take it? How did you take it when the boys approached you? You thought what?
I thought that they wanted to have sex with me.
Okay. And why did you think that?
Well, are you ready for me to tell my beginning to end?
No, you don't have
perception?
to.
No, I don't have a problem. I was waiting for you to tell me when to do it.
I mean, you don't have to air your dirty laundry if you don't want.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Okay.
So this is how I perceived it. I said to myself, okay, my big boobs are causing this individual male to be attracted and aroused by what he visually sees. And that arousal then creates sexual energy, which then culminates in having sex if both parties agree to do so.
Okay.
Now, the sideline part of that was that if I said no, I then was called a tease or whatever because I had these boobs and they were looking at them and I wasn't sharing them. So now all of a sudden I'm a tease.
Right.
And in my generation growing up, being a tease was just as bad as being a slut.
Right.
Right. So if I go have sex with them, I'm a slut. If I don't, and I have these big knockers that I didn't ask for, it's not like I went to the McDonald's window and said, give me giant knockers at this age.
Can you biggie size those?
Then I decide I don't want to share because in middle school, sex was the farthest thing from my mind. I was
Right.
still playing with fucking Barbies.
Right.
Then I'm like, no, I'm not having sex with you just because you like my boobs. Then I was called, oh, well, you're just a tease then. You're just a prick tease or whatever. And that confused me then as well.
Well, you got a couple of confusing parts there.
Yeah.
And so you were logging that these boys were looking at you, creating, and them looking at you was creating an energy of sex.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And so.
And you lovingly reminded me of Einstein's M is, what is the math?
E equals MC squared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Energy cannot be created or destroyed.
That's right. It cannot be created.
Yeah.
And so it can be multiplied. It can be, not really multiplied. It can be intensified.
Intensified. You're right.
And so the point I reminded her of was this, and this is what every person needs to hear. A guy does not go out. He won't even notice any woman. You hear all these faux pas out there that men are visual and women are emotional. And that is right. That is 100% correct. That's how they intensify their energy. But they won't even be looking or experiencing unless the energy is already there.
Yeah. That was probably the epiphanal statement when we were working through this with me the other day, is that rung my bell, because I'm like, oh my God, he's right. The energy's already got to be there, as with any topic.
That's right.
Or the other stuff is
right.
non-existent and doesn't matter. And
he's going to be more focused on doing whatever his teenage boy friends are doing.
Right.
And they're going to whatever party they're doing. Like no man goes out on a Friday night to get drunk and find a woman at the bar unless he's already got the sexual energy built up. Same thing with women. Women do the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't go out unless the sexual energy is there.
Yeah. And so as I was working through it, I went back to my high school days and I did coordinate that. Mm-hmm. I had male friends in our little group that we hung out with. One was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was just a very good friend. There was no sexual energy towards me. So he didn't focus on the boobs or do any of that.
Right.
And then we had a heterosexual male part of the group, and he didn't look at either of us females in that way. It was more brotherly type love.
Yeah. And that means the sexual energy wasn't there.
And so the sexual energy was not there.
Yep.
And so that topic never came up. And so you're completely right. And it rang my bell, man. And
these teenage girls, and this happens a lot because boys, they say, develop before girls. And I don't know about the cross-gender stuff. I don't know how those are developing because I'm not experiencing it. But I can tell you that when it comes to the boys and the girls, the boys develop earlier. And what I mean by that is the majority of the time they hit puberty before the women do, before girls do, which confuses the dynamic greatly. Because, especially when the collective information is that females hit puberty before men do, right?
Before the boys do.
Well, they say women, right? They say women will mature mentally, which when your friends are engaged in sex, because nobody does it at the same rate, guys. This is not a cookie cutter thing, and there is no handbook that comes with you when you're born,
right?
And so when you have friends that are engaged in sexual activity and you're maturing, it becomes very easy to get caught up in that fact of, oh, I want to do that.
Well, and even if you don't want to do it, I can remember there being peer pressure.
Oh yeah. Oh, you haven't had sex yet?
Wow, you're weird. You're a virgin still?
In our era was rare.
Right.
Nowadays, it's a lot more common, and hey, more power to you guys. Whatever you want to do, but just remember, do not make sex and sexual energy. Don't put it on the back burner, and keep it in there, because your sexual energy is not only about sex. It's about procreating. It's about pleasure, and it's also the greatest manifesting energy that you have.
Yeah.
That energy creates life.
Right.
And when you can learn to intensify that energy on your own, what I mean, and I don't mean, I'm not just talking about masturbation.
Right.
I'm talking about learning to control your own energy, sexual energy, and putting it in the direction that you want to use it in.
You mean in other areas of the life pie?
Right. When I was younger, my sexual energy was very big, and I cheated on wives and girlfriends, and I did stupid things. And I admit that it's not a big deal to me. To them, everybody else, it probably was. But that's because I had not mastered the control of my sexual energy and what I do with it. Because I, too, just like you weren't taught one thing, the guys aren't taught either. We don't know what to do with it.
Right. Yeah. You've got this, what's that firework where it spits little balls out the end of it?
Yeah. Roman candles.
Roman candle. You've got this lit Roman candle going off by itself, and you don't know what the hell to do with it.
Right. I remember waking up the first time with an erection and saying, "What the?" And it hurt.
What the what?
What is
this?
And you flick it and it don't go away or whatever. But anyway, so we're not taught either. And so you have to understand that energy is there to be exercised and used.
Yeah, and I think one of the other misnomers was when I was growing up is as females, I thought the guy knew what he was doing. And so I relied on them for knowledge and expertise the first time I did have sex, because I sure the hell didn't know. And so I thought that since he was coming to me wanting to have sex,
that he
was experienced and knew what the hell to do.
Yeah.
And so I relied on that.
No, we're guessing.
The other component of that is, for me, what got tangled up in that was this statement right here of the guy trying to convince me to have sex for the first time. He said, "Oh, I will love you. I promise.
And
I'll love you
the promises
forever. If we can just do this thing, I'll take care of you. I'll keep you safe, and I'll love you." And then right at that moment, love equaling sex equaling safety and security got all twisted and tangled together.
Yep.
So then I spent the rest of my younger days thinking that sex equaled love.
Right. And here's a good example I want to throw out there to people. How many people in your life can you stop and think about that you viewed as, back when we were younger, sluts, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Or hookers or whores or whatever, that girl's just a whore. She sleeps with everybody.
Right.
But those women turn out to be very, very successful. Why? Because they have learned to manipulate their energy. And when you can take your energy and learn to manipulate it for yourself, not worried about anybody else, and not worried about the societal top beliefs behind it, you'll learn that the energy manipulation is you're not creating it, you're just intensifying it and aiming it.
When you mean aiming it, you're not necessarily saying aiming it towards the male or female that you want to have a relationship with. You're meaning aiming it towards your career, or towards your financial situation.
What was that movie with that girl who crossed her legs? Indecent. The famous movie. Where women back then got magnified in the movies that they're sleeping their way to the top. And
I don't remember, but yeah, I think
it was Indecent Proposal or something like that, if I remember right. But the point I'm bringing ahead is those women learn to manipulate and control their energy by practicing using it in the right way, in the right direction. And so, like when we were maturing and starting out in business in the 90s, these women that are getting accused of sleeping their way to the top and all this stuff, well, first of all, that's a very sexist remark. Second of all, is because they're using their sexual energy. I'm not saying that they are actually sleeping with them. They're making people think they will sleep with them using their sexual energy, or they're using their sexual energy to manifest their intelligence into their growth. And controlling and using that energy is one of the biggest manifestors that we can have.
Well, and even getting to a place where you embrace having the energy.
Yeah.
And that being okay.
Understanding it and feeling it.
Aside from the societal, if I wear a low-cut shirt, not being concerned about being viewed as slutty
Right.
or inappropriate, and I'm going to go in this dark place. If I choose to wear a short skirt and a low cut shirt and somebody approaches me inappropriately, it is not my fault.
No,
because
it's not.
I chose to dress that way.
That's just a person that doesn't know how to.
Me practicing, embracing that I have sexual energy and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's a safe place.
But if you've got a societally taught thing that it's that you got to cover your body and that it's not okay to do that,
right,
then you'll never embrace that sexual energy fully and let it be what it is.
That's right. You've got to let it be what it is.
That's where I have been, really.
And when you do things that is sexual energy based, no matter what it is, like you give a great example. You're feeling sexy today, you get a little sexual energy going on, so you're going to wear a little mini skirt and a low cut top, and you're going to walk around and let people wish they had you for the day.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel safe inside because you're controlling it. And
right. But getting to that point.
Yeah, that's the part
even
where people
with
have it.
me, I will do that on occasion, not often enough. Now that I am aware of what's going on, I will practice letting that energy live inside of me.
Right.
But until the other day's conversation, I would do that, but there would still be this uncomfortable thread about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can witness that. I will do that, but then I'll take a jacket and tie it around my waist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Or I'll put on a tank top, but I'll put two on and pull it up over my cleavage. Or you know, I'll say things like, I really would like to go without a bra today, but then I kind of walk hunched over subconsciously.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
And it's me subconsciously trying to de-accentuate my boobs.
Yep.
And I do that even when I wear a bra. And you'll catch me and remind me most of the time of, you know, stand up.
You even bought that thing that makes you stand up straight.
Yeah, and I don't even wear it anymore. Stand up straight, mind your posture. You
but
know?
hiding your boobs.
Right. So.
You know, I think the main... one of the things that we should continue to talk about in this is when you understand what the sexual energy feels like within you, and understand it's not your responsibility to, you know, to take care of somebody else's sexual energy unless you choose to.
Or their perspective.
Or their perspective. Off. That's right. It's all about you. And it's okay to make this life about you.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, you don't have to self-sacrifice or surrender your own beliefs to find a good person. Like I did it for years. You did it for years. We've all done it. But you don't have to do that. And you will find somebody that matches your beliefs as long as you stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
And I bring up a TV show that popped in my mind earlier in this conversation, and that is Sex and the City. Do you remember that show?
I do vaguely. I didn't watch it probably because of the title.
You know, I remember when that show first came out, it got so chastised by the religious groups. And because here you have 4 women that, first of all, none of them were married.
Yeah.
They were openly dating. They were living the life of a single male, which was okay.
And talking about
it openly.
Right, exactly.
And that is how you control your sexual energy. And all 4 were all very successful in their jobs. They were very secure in themselves.
Yeah.
And so I will tell you all this, that when you can learn to understand your sexual energy, feel your sexual energy, manipulate it and intensify it on your own.
Talk about it. Get comfortable with it.
Get it
Let
in your
it
own
have
skin.
space to live within you in a confident way.
Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah. That's when you can become Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
You know, she's just released a new show, and she's the same person in that show. And it's great to see.
Yeah.
It is great to see.
Absolutely.
Because you're right. You know, until the conversation, it also revealed to me a few things and historically in my life of why things happened the way they did in my past with women. And because they, too, were just not understanding of the energy that was going on.
Right.
And I wasn't completely understanding it.
Right.
And so when it became to the point in my life that I would call it mastery of my sexual energy, because I do feel like I kind of mastered that part of my life. I stopped being stupid. And so, like doing stupid things, going out on Friday night, chasing women, there comes a point when it's okay as long as you do it for the right reason.
Yeah. It changes.
It changes. It changes your perspective. It changes how you look at everything.
Yeah.
And understanding that sexual energy is the manifester, one of the strongest manifestors in your life.
Absolutely. I mean, any of the energy books or the Tantra books or any of that, they talk about the same thing.
Right.
I just didn't, for me personally, I didn't have it wired quite right, and I didn't understand it.
And there's a lot of people out there that don't.
I can tell you that feeling arousal or feeling sexual energy, I can't necessarily always pick up on that frequency because I never gave it space to live inside my body.
And the space you did give it was
very limited.
I'm going to go make my little safe place over here. I'm going to go there and make a safe place instead of making the sexual energy the safe place.
Right.
You created a place where you could go enjoy the
privacy.
And I'm not just talking about masturbation. Even when you have that energy, you'll do that a lot.
But even like dressing in a manner that I want to dress, wearing my short skirts and stuff.
Yeah.
When you and I met, and you then were my safety zone,
you wore scrubs every day.
I would dress that way more comfortably because I felt safe as long as you were by me. Now, if I was going to town by myself, I would not dress that way, because even in high school, when I was approached about having nice boobs by some crazy boy that didn't even know what to do with his own sexual energy, it made me uncomfortable. And so I didn't know how to navigate those experiences by saying, you know what, John, shut up. Get out of my face. You're stupid.
Little Johnny.
And I didn't want the confrontation. Yeah. And so therefore I would dumb me down sexually by not dressing that way, by walking hunched over, trying to hide them, or whatever those compensations were, so that I wouldn't have to be called a tease because, you know, Bobby asked me if I would have sex with him because he really likes my boobs, and I say no, and then he would say, oh, you're just a prick tease. I didn't want those confrontations. Yeah. So then when you and I met, I knew that you had my back. You were my safety net. And so then I would dress that way because I wanted to embrace that a little more fully. But if you weren't around and I had to go, you know, to town by myself or something, it was right back to the librarian clothing,
well, that,
so to speak, or the hunched over posture or whatever.
Yeah. Then, wow. So
this is a long one, guys.
Yeah, this is wow.
Detail.
So, you know, the sexual energy within it, get this topic, and a lot of people is confused. And so when you have sexual energy, understand this, it is okay. Embrace it, own it, love it, let it be what it is. That don't mean you have to act upon anything. Right. Don't mean you have to do anything.
Exactly.
Just feel it. Yeah. And enjoy it, because it is a good feeling.
Yeah, and I may have to put this in 2 parts.
Yeah, probably will.
Because I don't want to shorten it if we still have stuff to talk about. And
the number 2 thing that I want to talk about is understand that sexual energy is not created by what you see. It's not created by what you feel if you're empathic, or the words that come out of anybody's mouth.
Yeah.
And love is not attached to sex either. Ooh.
So the visual, what you're saying is the visual component of seeing something that's attractive is accentuating the energy that was already there?
Yes.
I see. It's not the creator of the energy.
Right. It's not the creator of the energy.
It's the intensifier of it.
Right. You wouldn't even be looking if you didn't have the energy.
I see.
They wouldn't be looking if they didn't have the energy.
I got it.
And, you know, like, I want to go back on what you talked about. It happened to you in high school, because I think this is a topic of this that needs to be understood as well, because it's tied in with this topic. And I will tell you that love is not controlled nor manifested by sex.
It is a good topic. It's deep.
This topic of Like you said, I'll love you forever if you'll have sex with me.
Yeah.
And the reality is this: love is not created from sex.
Right.
Love is a feeling that you have when you make a commitment to somebody. It's deep inside you. You know, if you can close your eyes and imagine yourself with that person, without that person, then you don't love them.
And you've got a very strong point because, and I'm going to bring this weird comparison up, and people are going to combat me about it, but I am the doctor, so, and I do go to weird places.
Yeah.
If sex equaled love, well, so you have children and you have a love for them, but you're not going to have sex with them.
Right.
So, but that's a different kind of love. You're right.
Yeah,
it is. But love is still love. It still holds a frequency.
That's right.
It still has a frequency. It doesn't matter if it's a love for a child, a love for a spouse, a love for a partner, a love of a game. Love is love.
Right. And you don't love everybody you ever
sex.
slept with. Nobody loves everybody they've ever slept with.
No, exactly.
And if you are taught that as a growing up person, need to understand, you know, because I see this in relationship counseling, and I see this in other things, that the woman gets confused.
Yes.
Because they are emotional. And so when they put themselves into an intimate place and they give away what they feel is their security to allow this person, they're giving up an emotion. Now, let's talk about that. If they would go back and understand the controlling the sexual energy and being okay with that sexual energy doesn't have to have an emotional attachment. You don't have to attach any emotion to sex. Sex is just for pleasure or procreating. It does not equal love. But in the societal taught beliefs, they are taught that putting themselves in that vulnerable position is like a cat. If they show you the belly, you know, they're trusting you.
Yeah.
Women will do the same thing.
Right.
And men take advantage of that. I'm going to call it like it is.
Yeah.
And they'll say stuff, oh my God, I love you.
Right.
Oh my God, that was so good. I love you. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll do it again. And that's bullshit.
Yes.
Because the first time you try to interrupt his boys' night out, you'll find out how much he really loves you.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the reality. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Men take advantage of that situation. I don't know about the other genders now with everything going on. All I can tell you about it is what I know and how it happens. And we're teaching people to practice abstinence. And that is good to have. I will say that is good to have as long as they are exercising their sexual energy. Because all you're doing is taking away that person's future to have a secure confidence within them own selves, because that sexual energy also, when exercised, creates a lot of personal self-worth, a lot of personal ego, a lot of value in one's person. And when it's not exercised properly or not used properly, it will get taken advantage of. And so I'm here to tell you, you can write this all down. Love does not equal sex, period.
Right.
It does not matter, because you can love somebody and never have sex with them.
Right. Yeah.
And you can have sex 1,000,000 times with somebody you love. Whatever you want to do, but it's your choice. It's your control.
Or you can have sex with somebody 1,000,000 times and not love them.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I used to have friends with benefits.
Exactly. Just because it's a good time and it's a fun recreational thing, and they're good at it and you're good at it with them.
Right. Like
it doesn't have to have an emotion with it. It's just a fun toy on the playground.
If you're attaching emotions to sex, you're setting yourself up for failure, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to call it one of the reasons why the divorce rate is so high in this country, is because we do not talk about this openly. And we use a Bible to tell us about sex.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the Bible. You know, if you follow the Bible, that is okay. But we're not listening to our bodies.
That's right.
We're not doing the things that we need to do to exercise that energy and put it in the right direction.
Yeah, and not giving sexual energy the space to exist.
Right.
We're trying to hide it or dumb it down or, talking about it, getting open with it.
Yep.
I'm not saying that you've got to get comfortable going and having a full sex conversation with some stranger in the grocery store. What I'm saying is getting used to that sexual energy existing in your body and being able to identify it in your own bubble and giving it space to exist. Just like we teach whenever we go and talk about the tears for the grieving process. Giving space for that energy to exist instead of stuffing it away in some box where it can blow up later, the anger, any of those things.
Right.
You've got to give that energy place to exist and understand what it's about and what it's showing you, or the dynamic of it, before you can really use it or understand it or whatever. You've got to let it have a place to exist.
Right. Right, totally right. Because society has taught us that sex comes with promises and love comes with promises, and they don't.
Well, and society's also told us that you can't even acknowledge sex unless you have a marriage certificate.
Right. I know, it's ridiculous.
I mean, in our generation and prior to that, even more strongly, you were not allowed to even acknowledge that sexual energy existed. Right. Or the word sex existed unless you had a piece of paper and a ring on your finger that says, okay, now I'm allowed to acknowledge this energy and do it with my husband, wife, whatever.
Correct. Yep.
That is such a confusing bunch of nonsensical hooey boo.
100%. And talk about that is, it used to be, until the law changed in I think 2016 or something. The law used to be that if you were going through a divorce and you had sex with your ex that you were divorcing, that divorce was now null and void for the longest time. Because the government was even attaching sex to commitment into marriage.
How would they know? Do they have little cameras?
They ask.
Oh.
They will ask you. Like when I went through my divorce, they asked me, have I had sex with her in the last 3 months?
Are you kidding?
No, because it will they will dismiss the case right there.
So
in some states, I don't know about every state, but I know the law's changed now. But so the policies and the procedures and everything we get taught around sex is there's all these things attached to sex.
It's so stupid.
And sex is an internal energy. It's your own energy. It's nobody else's.
Sexual energy.
I can't give away my energy, and you can't give away your energy.
Yeah.
Now you can intermingle that energy.
Right.
And you can have a lot of fun intermingling that energy because it's for pleasure and procreation.
Yeah.
But sex does not equal love, and love does not come with promises.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, oh, you're going to be the only person I ever sleep with, 9 times out of 10, according to the divorce rate, that is not true.
Right.
But, and let's just be real. This conversation does not happen with children because parents seem to think that their child's going to be the top performing person and they're going to be in the top 2% of the United States that never has a problem. They're going to marry once. They're going to go to the same church, live in the same house. They're going to do the same thing. And they're not going to be anything more than that. And they're going to be in the top 2% of people in their life.
And they're magically going to know the whole premise.
The whole thing.
Behind sex and what to do with it.
Mommy and daddies, you all need to be talking about this subject. Period.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, then you're gonna down
They're
the road.
Learning it from
the hard way.
The programs that are in TV, from their friends.
If you don't teach
God
them,
knows where they learned it.
They will learn it from somewhere.
And they will put together a script, and they'll be 50 years old learning that they've got shit ass backwards.
I was counseling a father one time, and he was saying, I just don't understand. She just can't get it straight in her life. She's always bouncing from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And she just cannot stop. And I'm like, have you ever had that conversation with her? And I don't mean the conversation of what she's doing wrong. I mean the conversation of what she needs to do right.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me like I was crazy.
Right.
If you never have the conversation, that's on you, brother.
Right.
That was your responsibility. Now that she's an adult, he said, I had to go at 3:00 in the morning and save her from her boyfriend that that just beat her up. Well, she's using her sexual energy to pleasure somebody else instead of herself.
Right.
And when they start sacrificing their sexual energy, they will sacrifice themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, this is full of good little sayings that came up with.
Heck yeah. This is a juicy, like, double meat, quarter pounder, mix size it the mother up.
Yeah.
I definitely will have to put it into parts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, totally. I mean, it's at an hour right now.
I just don't want to cut it short when we're on the stream of things. I want to make sure we get it all defined out there and get all of the information out there.
Right.
Because I think it's so highly important. It is for me.
Yeah.
And I just was thinking, okay, well, how many other people have this wired backwards? I know that energy can't be created or destroyed. And I know that having the flow of energy in other topics makes perfect sense for me, but this one blindsided me.
Yeah.
And I sat around and I thought, man, I've redefined and burnt beliefs and restructured all of that. Why is this weird topic still popping up?
Yeah.
And, one of the things that I would notice is I didn't know what my personal sexual energy felt like or looked like. And that was so peculiar to me because as an empath, I'm a feeler. And I thought, oh no, I'm broken.
I'm broke. Can somebody fix me?
Like when we started talking about this, I was like, good God, I don't know what that feels like in my body because I never gave it space.
And I don't know if I would call it talking because we've had many heated discussions over this topic.
Right. Yeah.
I'll say not heated, didn't passionate.
Well, when you're working on a deep-seated thing, sometimes emotions come out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. And it's got to be okay.
And it has to be okay, whatever that looks like. If you're screaming and yelling at each other because your partner's bringing to light something that you're not completely, totally willing to look at, and you have to get offended and jab back for a minute because you don't want to look at it, which is what happened with us.
Yeah.
I was jabbing left and right with my jousting stick.
Man, you were not open to me at all.
I was not. I did not want to look at this, whatever it was. And so it was not a day at the spa.
This candy looks good.
Like it was a day at the spa, but I got into a tub of jalapeno water.
That was a jalapeno face mask?
It was hot AF. So yeah, that day at the spa was not lavender and lemongrass. It was freaking ghost peppers and jalapenos.
Yeah.
Even though I would explore the masturbation thing as an individual growing up, I didn't understand the premise of it because then when I incorporated somebody else's being or somebody else's energy in it, it immediately was defined as this is my womanly duty, whether I want to or not, and I must complete this chore, so to speak.
Well, and when you're growing up,
so I never gave it space in my own body to exist,
and you weren't given the space by your parents.
No,
because it was faux pas. It was wrong.
We did not talk about it.
And you're not given that time.
Did not talk about it. My mother was very often not around and probably wouldn't have talked about it. And my grandparents didn't talk about it, especially the one.
Right.
And so you had no way of knowing. My aunts and uncles that were a little more open to just life itself would make little comments here and there and try to give me little breadcrumbs of knowledge.
Yeah.
But it was nothing that I needed way more. Like we just need way more conversation about it. And then of course you have that class, the reproductive class in school that they created for us.
Sex ed.
Yeah. And that
all they did was teach you what happens.
It was a little helpful because at least you walked away knowing that, oh wait, I can go do this thing called sex and I could end up pregnant and be having to raise a child.
Yeah.
Wowzer.
Yeah, that's all they did back then was preach abstinence. They didn't preach control.
Yeah. Right.
They didn't preach exercising.
Especially not control of the energy.
Because the reality is when we're in puberty and we're growing and our hormones are taking off, we're not given that space and not understood and taught that energy is there. Like I was pretty blessed because I had a couple people in my life that made comments that made me think, yeah, I get it, man. I've been there. Just keep giving yourself the space to be there.
Yeah.
And parents, you all need to give it the space. The reason why your teenagers are closing their door is not because they're rebelling against you.
Or they're listening to their music too loud.
They're doing it because they're trying to find them.
Yeah.
It is, you have to make it okay, because the minute you make it okay and uncontrolled is the minute that door will reopen, because now they have a different safe place. They have found their security within themselves.
Right. And it's not just sexual.
Right.
You know, we don't want to give the impression that every time the door closes, they're in there masturbating and play with themselves. It's
what a derogatory statement. Playing with yourself.
Right. But that's I just don't want to give that image off.
Right.
It's them understanding all the different kinds of energy and all the different kinds of components that make up our individual selves, and learning who they are in many different ways, from many different beliefs. And to be real,
the sexual energy is a strong point in every part of that developing body.
It is.
It is very strong. It's a very strong hormone. It's got a very strong chemical release in the body.
Yeah.
And them understanding it, unless you have an open floor and have explained it deeply and let them and give them the space to be who they are, they're going to retract from you.
Right.
And they're going to be something that you feel like or they're pulling away. And it does not mean that they are. And everybody has to have the opportunity to exercise that. And if we talked about this more openly, there would be a whole lot less drama and traumatic experiences in life.
Yeah, and I can give you kind of a metaphorical way to look at it. If you're actually working on some topic and you're trying to revisit or find the frequency of a certain emotion, you will pull away from your friends as well, even as an adult, because you need the noise of their energy to be out of your space so that you can identify your own frequency of the topic. And it doesn't matter if it's sex or a relationship or money or whatever. When you're doing your awakening process or your spiritual grind or whatever, you need space without the noise of other people's energy and frequency to really learn about that for yourself, whether it be sex or anything. And so you as an adult pull away at times, especially when you're needing to really hone in on a certain energy frequency and fine tune that for yourself.
Yeah, totally.
They're doing that same thing, but normally when they're in their teenage years and they're shutting that door, they're having to learn what all those frequencies feel like, look like. And that's why they become this beast that you don't recognize anymore.
Right.
And you sometimes wish that you could like cryogenically freeze them until they wake up and pass that part of their life.
Well, but that part of their life is such a huge part of expansion.
It's
a huge part of expansion.
It very much is. I agree.
But anyway, so kind of to recap, one is, listen, guys, it's not your responsibility to take care of anybody. And if you think it's somebody else's job to take care of you, you're confused. And I mean with anything in life.
That's right.
A relationship is not about who can take care of who. It's about two people joining individual lives together and going on each other's journeys.
Right.
Because we have a crazy life because we go on each other's journeys. We do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
And it is. It is okay.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
I challenge everybody to stop and look at it and understand that what you're looking at is not causing energy. What you're looking at is intensifying your own energy. The energy has to be there first. Mm-hmm. The energy has to be there in any topic.
I agree 100%.
So anyway, I feel pretty complete.
I think we did a good job on that.
I think we covered that one well.
If you guys have more questions or comments, you're welcome to leave them.
Right. But I feel complete.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
guys.
we're good.
Hey, check out the website, www.themerckcenters.org. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. And Dr. Jeannie's new meditation video got posted yesterday on her YouTube channel, The Merck Centers.
Oh, yes. And it turned out so good. You did such a good job on it.
Yeah, it came out good. I was really impressed for my first video creation.
Yeah, thank you.
First time I've ever done that.
I am so grateful. You did amazing.
Y'all go look at it and leave a comment on it. Tell me how I did.
Yeah, and me as well.
And if there's any comment or anything you want to talk about on this podcast, leave us a comment.
Absolutely.
And anybody that did comment in the past, I apologize if we did not respond because I discovered that I had missed a few. We love you guys. We hope you have an awesome day.
Love you.